Hello, everyone. People told Tessa 15 years ago that she would never really make a profit. Then they said it would never reach 100,000 packages a year. Let's talk about 2 million. It's a question of when, not if, robot taxes will happen. I think this is happening faster, which is why and you're seeing it in the stock they've had trouble with. Now, though, things are different for Musk and Tesla. People will talk a lot about how it will balance everything, just like Trump has to find the right balance between SpaceX and other companies. But I think investors will see that as a good thing since Musk has a strategic view and is, essentially, the chair of strategy in the White House. The most important thing is that it's for self-driving cars. As an A-plus student, they've had to deal with a lot of legal issues. These are starting to go away, which is a big part of the worth. In the end, I think this will turn Tesla's AI and self-driving cars into $1 trillion worth of value. People who are always looking for the next big thing in the stock market can't just stand back and watch Tesla's growth. They need to get involved. This page tells you everything you need to know about Tesla. How much should Tesla stock be? Tesla's new ideas and everything Elon Musk. If you click on one of the affiliate links in the description and make a purchase, our channel may get paid. This is because Trump's victory changes everything for Musk, Tesla, driverless vehicles, and FSD. There will still be problems in the United States. It won't be a perfect journey, but the stock market is very different now than it was a week ago when Trump was president, so I don't think Musk will become a formal cabinet member. Instead, I think he will become an AI ambassador, and he will play a very important role in very important areas of tech, like tariffs on AI. But I don't see any problems with selling stock or tech in general. Whether you're a Nvidia investor, it may seem strange for Apple CEO Elon Musk to have a say in A and tariffs when it comes to China. But having that scene at the table instead of a 202 official is actually comforting. Musk has and will continue to have a huge seat at the table in a Trump administration. This isn't just about the Doge, it's also about what might happen behind them. I believe this changes the game because when you look at autonomous vehicles, AI, and the regulatory web that I think has really locked some of that potential, there's $1 trillion worth of value just in AI and autonomous vehicles. And when we look at the next 12 to 24 months, I don't think that $2 trillion is crazy. I think some of it could be conservative. Musk and Trump played a poker move that will go down in history. Now, Musk and Tesla will both be very rich. Even though there were a lot of tweets and fears that they might have taken our attention away from the game, I think that clearly did not happen, which makes me feel better. Now, the government said you want him to be more engaged. The more involved he is, the better for T and big tech, because guess who will have a big hit at the table when it comes to taxes with China? Musk, because I really think you'll have car fights between Tesla and Apple at some parts of the Nvidia supply chain. Look, I think unlike him and Cook are probably the two that are the only two that have been able to navigate the tightrope political in Beijing. So there's no one that understands the China dynamics and also has a very good relationship with the President Xi in terms of Musk. And that's why when you look at this is, I think, it's going to be a golden era in terms of tech golden era for Tesla from Musk. And that's why with Trump getting in, it changes everything because the FTC is going to be done, consensus view in terms of the street. First thing that Trump's going to do is going to rip them. They're going to pull him the tax credit. So that's a negative for the EV industry, a negative for Detroit 313. But it's a bullish for Musk and Tesla because they have the skull and scope where it's unmatched, so they can make money on a $35,000 vehicle. The others can't is a poker move for the ages for Musk. Because autonomous now is going to get accelerated, I think potentially 2 to 3 years, the AI. I think that's the most important thing for Tesla, and I think it's worth $1 trillion in loans. On the part of the federal agencies, they were like teachers. Musk, on the other hand, was like a student who was in detention and is now the principal. Musk and Tesla will have a big say in how this all turns out. I view this as a gain sure from unlocking value, but especially Musk's influence is not going to stop here. I expect more of it, especially when it comes to China and AI. I think there will be a knock on the door for NIT, and it's Musk who's sitting there and ultimately, This is just the start, and I think, Kelly, that's what the stocks start and reflect that the autonomous piece, which is really what I view as the key from an AI perspective for Tesla. That's why you really own it here, $1 trillion of value now. That's get accelerated, and what you're going to see now, it's not just about autonomous. Even when it comes to China tariffs, I do believe there will be a Tesla car out there along with Apple and some others to me. I think part of why it's not been prime time is because regulatory. It's been that spider web. This is going to accelerate that. And now, ultimately, when that knock comes in, it's Musk. It changes the whole story for Tesla. And again, Musk goes from he was iced out, right? He was in from a administration. And now, ultimately, I think on two sort of areas, one, EV tax credits are done, which is a huge gut punch for Detroit, for another, that ultimately negative for Eve, positive for Tesla when it comes to scale and scope autonomous perspective. What will benefit? It's possible that Uber and others want to follow the same road we're seeing in China in the end. It is well known that China is speeding up self-driving cars right now. This is a big part of Musk's plan to go after A. He will also work on parts of the Inflation Reduction Act that deal with aid-driven spending, which helps hyperscalers, Paler, and others. Everything changes for big TCH and test when Musk is there. But do you know anyone else who is as hopeful as Musk? That's Seeking Alpha, our sponsor for today. Find Alpha. It's the best pro. To get the most up-to-date price targets for Tesla stock, click on the link from the text below. Everything new Elon Musk in the explanation. There is a link to a great deal. That's going to be worth $1 trillion just because of Tesla and AI in the future. That's why Musk bet on Trump. It was the best move in poker history. I can think of three things. Because of Trump's taxes, I think a lot of money will be put into AI in the US. It's good for tech in general. I think that's a big reason why Nvidia is up, even though people are worried about tariffs and other things. I also believe that Tesla and Apple will fight over tariffs. Any tech investor going into the weekend is in a Goldilocks position. There have been a lot of problems with regulations, and I think there will be a tidal wave of mergers and acquisitions in AI core software, internet safety. I think I've seen many on the private and public. It's almost like a tech prom, but on both sides, no one's really asking anyone to dance now. I think this thing starts we could see just massive and under a Trump administration, in my opinion. Look, I think it's a strategic bet that Musk made that ultimately could pay dividends for Tesla in a huge way for the coming years. I think $40 to $50 per share it adds just for beginners, not just because of what could happen from a tax credit perspective. I think leveling you playing field, you take out the Detroit automakers, and then that's really going to give them an advantage from a cost scale and school perspective. Ian, the big thing here, Trump could ultimately fast-track autonomous FSD. And our whole view, as we talked about in the show $1 trillion of valuation, just on AI alone, this is going to unlock, and that's a key for Musk. I think there's a comfort in him being in this situation that he could almost be a pseudo sort of, call it 10% politician, 90% CEO in terms of making sure that the retaliatory or the carve-out, I think that's going to be important, the carve-out piece from a tariff perspective. I think one of the reasons that you see NVIDIA up today, you see semi, you look at Apple, despite some